This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by CFU, the power of service.
Welcome back to Panther Sports Talk. We've talked with head coach Mark Farley about the personnel on his team. Let's talk about some of the coaching staff that you've recruited, brought here to UNI, and what you like about this group and why you think they will help lead this team into this 2018 season.
Well, the guys that we are new to the staff this year, Ryan Clanton is our offensive line coach. You have Bryce Pop is our defensive line coach, and Quentin Griffin is our running backs coach. And the addition of those three guys are very similar. You've got Bryce, who was a championship football player here. You have Ryan, who was a championship football player at Oregon, and you have Quentin, who was a championship football player at Oklahoma. I believe if you're going to create the culture we just talked about, you have to have lived in that culture. It's hard to make you start to believe stuff unless you lived it, and they have lived it. And now they can kind of transform in the way we do it here, but yet carry those traits of what I believe is the difference between good and great. And they made themselves great. None of them, I would say, were phenomenal athletes just because they were born into athleticism. I think all three of them were made into great athletes because the time, the commitment, and the work and the energy they put into this game.
So they teach the technical side, but they teach the mental and every important part of the game of football as well.
It's hard to teach something that you haven't experienced. And that's what I think these guys have experienced, the hardships of coming up the hard way, but yet having to conquer some of the things they have to achieve the results they have in their careers.
Good to have Bryce Pop back on staff, Coach.
Exactly. It's just, Bryce knows this university. It's an easy transition. He knows our defense. He knows this university. And now he's a better coach today than when he left because he experienced the BCS. And as I did, sometimes the appreciation of UNI, you really understand the uniqueness of UNI once you have left this university.
Here's what the players have to say about welcoming back Coach Bryce Pop.